Hey, what's up guys, Zyper here, and welcome into a brand new visual tutorial about how to create your own VG loops in After Effects CC. It's the first one of 2015, I haven't did this for a long time, so I'm really happy to be back. I had a lot of work. Maybe if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, everything, you have seen that I've just launched a brand new website for all the tutorials, all the free stuff, and we have lots of exciting projects coming during all the year. But now let's talk about visuals. So maybe you have seen it. I just released a brand new free series called Line 04 that you can download on vjing.fr with a brand new download system. And today I will show you how I've made one of my favorite animation in that new series, and just looks like that. So as every time in my line series, this is really basic, really easy to do, but works so great on any kind of screen, in any kind of video performance. So let's jump into After Effects. So once you're in After Effects, we're gonna start everything from scratch. The main idea is to take the animation that we did for the second tutorials about the line 02, and we're gonna change a little bit the sprites and add some really basic effects that works great to give him a total different look and with much more elements into it, where everything is just some basic line sprite. So create a new composition, make it 720p, 30 frames long, and duration to 16 seconds. Like this. Rename it. We're gonna name this particle emitter 01. Then create layer new solid, make it comp size, name it white emitter 01, and then just apply trap code particular. This plugin isn't in After Effects, so you can purchase it on redgen.com. It's a must-have. And now we have our particles like this. So what I want with these particles is that they need to be emitted on top and fall down. So we go to emitter, we change the emitter type to box, change the box size, push the emitter maybe to 2000, something like that. Yeah, push it to 2000. On 2000, please. On Y, just push 100. Or no, let 50 and push 150 on Z. Like this. This gives more deep to our particle system. And then push it up right here. So we don't see the particles who appear here, and then we're gonna make them fall down. So go to physics and push the gravity to 100. Like this. Oh, people are asking questions on Facebook. So, and here we have our particles falling down. So you can see how amazing this is. There is a really nice trick to do, guys. You can import some pictures like this, just add Santa Claus here, and write a text like Merry Christmas with some really nice fonts. Maybe you can find something crazy. Yeah, this looks great. Push it high and make it red. So guys, and now you know what kind of animation to do for next year Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys! I think I hope everybody had a great time during Christmas, had a great party for New Year Eve. And yeah, this is a very small tutorial about how to make some amazing Christmas stuff. But yeah, we can do much more better. So push this out and let's be serious. So once we have that, we need to change the look of our particles. So create a new composition and push the height to 20 and the duration to 4 seconds. Add a new solid, make it comp size, and name it line 01. We also forget to rename this one. This is the sprite line 01. And here we're gonna just trace a stroke. So if you push shift down, you can make a stroke. We're gonna push it exactly in the middle. Like this. And put side a little bit into it. I have some shortcuts problem. What happens here? Oh, yeah, like this. I have to do the right one. So, this one a bit in, maybe like this. And on the other side, same stuff. So, and then we are going to add from trap code, so from vjing trap code, 3D stroke. And now we have a nice stroke like this. Push the thickness down, maybe to 8. And this time we're not gonna use in and out point. We're just gonna animate the offset like this. So push the offset to -100 and at 000 add a keyframe. And then go to the end, so to 4 seconds, and push it to 100. Like this. And now we have our sprite animation. So then go back to particle emitter 01, import sprite line, hide it, and into our particles, change the type to sprite. So this each white point that you see is going to change to a texture, and as texture we're gonna select the sprite line 01, and we push the size up, and we see nothing because it's here. Yeah, like that. This looks great. Then we're gonna change the current time to a random loop, so it's playing as a loop, doing all the composition. And into the emitter, we're gonna push the particles per second down, maybe to 5, 6. Yeah, push it to 6. I like 6, or maybe 8. 8 is great. Yeah, push it down to 8. Okay, and we're gonna rotate it. Particles rotation about 90 degrees. So it's just falling down like that, and you have the animation of all the stuff. So as you can see, some of them are ending before they come down, maybe like this one. So we have to increase the size of a life. No, the where it is here, lives. Push it up maybe to 6, 8, 9, something very long. So the particles have the time to be emitted here, fall down, and disappear by falling down, like that. Yeah, this looks great. So this is really our base animation. Why is it moving? I want them just to fall down. Maybe there's some ear into it. Oh, I know, we have some velocity. I don't want velocity. Push this down, velocity from motion down. Actually, don't want them to move, as you want just them to fall down. Like this. And the animation that we put into it makes them move much more, as it's just some lines falling down. That's a good trick. The main idea of line 04 was to animate everything by just make them going from moving on X, on Y, or on Z without any rotation, without rotating everything or pushing some rotating effect over it. Just some linear movements as I don't have so much from a live performance. And so all the effects, if you see, it's just some linear movements and the sprites are moving a bit, but you have no rotation as we usually have. That gives a totally other feeling and a totally different energy to the loops. So now that we have our base animation, before do anything with design or duplicate or everything, we need to loop it perfectly. So for that, we go back in project, we take particle emitter 01 and add it in a new comp. I'm gonna call this particle emitter main. And here what we are going to do is duplicate this one, go to 8 seconds. And what we want is that the particles start falling into our comp and stop them at the end. So they fall down and nothing other is coming. And as we loop it, you have particles who fall in where the other particles are falling down, and this creates the perfect loop. And when you look at it, you have always particles who fall down. So we push. Yeah, we need to do it like that. Zoom in, push this back like this, and this front like this. It's exactly the same technique that what we did in the tutorial 02. So if you know how to do it, you can do it a little bit faster than me. I just re-explain it because maybe I explain it bad, or you haven't understand something, and maybe I will explain it a little bit different this time. So my first and last frame should be the same, but isn't. Yeah, it is not the same. Okay. First and last frame are the same. So my looping is perfect when the VG software is playing it. When it comes to the end, at the beginning it starts again. But now the problem is here. So here you see my particles are falling down and need approximately 2 or 3 seconds so that the first particles are coming down. So I need to add maybe 4 or 5 seconds more here. And stop to emit particles, so when they fall down, nothing other is coming, and you see this one coming in. So for do that, we go to composition settings, push to duration maybe to 22, so we have enough space to work. Make this wider, and so as we said, we need, yeah, maybe 3 seconds. So at 16, we take a white emitter, we search the particles per second, we go just 1 frame back at 15:29, add a keyframe, and then just jump 1 frame up, and at 16 we push this to 0. So now we have 0 particles per second, so our particle emitter emits nothing. And you're gonna see it, so they're falling down and nothing else is coming. And now if I go back to my main, I normally should see, yeah, it's perfect. So you see the last ones here and the first one were coming back here, and it's blend perfectly together. So now our looping is perfect, our main animation is made, we have a sprite. Now we can start to make some fun. So duplicate this white emitter, name it blue emitter, like we do every time. Go to particle, make it sprites here, sprite colorize, and make this one blue. Nice blue like this. You can do it any color you want. I just always use blue because I started 2 years ago by making some effects in blue, and I like to have all my loops in the same color as I apply some effects into it with Resolume or with other software. And if you want to know more about that, you go on visions.fr and you can see there are some VG tutorials about how I play with Resolume Arena, and I will do much more with some other software during all the year. So now we need to change into emitter the random seed, and now we have some blue and some white ones. Start to look interesting. We're gonna add some here. Size random 100, opacity random 100, same on the white one, into particle. And now to give him more detail and more deep, I'm just gonna duplicate them with Ctrl D, rename them white emitter small 01 and blue emitter small 012. Press U so I can see all the keyframe I made. With K, I go to the next keyframe, so that's some shortcuts. And now what I'm going to do is increase this one maybe to 150 or more, 120, and this one to 120. Change for both the random seed a bit, so we have different random stuff, and push the size down maybe to 100, and on the white one too, size to 100. And on this one, maybe I'm gonna push the size up to 500. White one to 500. And now, as you can see, we have much more detail into it. And why we make it so small, it's because when I play live, I don't want to have too much color surface, because this means I have a lot of LED on my LED wall who are emitting some lightness, and too much lightness kills the dynamic. And the line series has to be basic because it has to be all about the movement, all about the dynamic you bring to your dance floor or even your stage. And that's why we need to do some basic stuff, we need to do some detailed stuff, but we need always to have as much as possible black into it, so the LEDs are off and we don't have too much brightness. And that's what's bring the dynamic with these loops. That's all the secret of the line series. I find it a little bit too wide, so we're gonna change the sprite 01 directly here and push the thickness down to maybe 5. So it looks like a line. It's always too much. Maybe push it down to 3. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I go back, I will push it to 4. Where is it here? Or maybe go back to 5. I just made a mistake, guys, and I'm gonna show you one of a good trick I use. As you can see, here this is a green area. That means that this is rendered and is rendered into my memory. So I see it. And I've just made a change on my sprite, and this area hasn't been affected by that change because it was rendered before. So sometimes what is good to do, you go to Edit, Purge, All Memory and Disk Cache. And it's gonna delete all the small image you put into your memory. So, you see here I have 23 gigabytes of stuff into my memory, and I'm gonna clean it. Takes a little bit of time. And now, yeah, it's gonna recalculate everything, and now I see what's really my visual, and it delete all the small green stuff I have everywhere, and now my workflow works much more better. A good thing to do is before you final render, you always clean your memory So your render is going to take a little bit more time as it have to recalculate all your frames, but you don't have some false frame into it, because you see in this green little area I had, this is 1 or 2 frames that I calculate and it's wrong. So it doesn't look like the final render. And if I render it without cleaning my memory, After Effects gonna use this one in the final render, and I will have some flickering where I see my normal comp and suddenly I see some other frames who come from work I did before, but they are wrong. And I had lots of problem due to that in the beginning, and now all the time I go to Edit, Purge, or Memory and Disk Cache, and I render my final loop perfectly without having any flickering or strobing into it. So another stuff you can do if you have, sometimes you're working on some big projects and you have lots of stuff, you imported all the projects just to have 1 or 2 elements, and your workflow is going to be very slow because you have too much elements in your project. You go to File, Deepen This, and you remove all unused footage. Because sometimes you import stuff and you try it, doesn't work, you remove it, push something different, but they are always in your project, like our Santa Claus here. And when you work on some very big project and you want 1,000, 2,000, sometimes I have 10,000 files in my project that I don't use, and my workflow is very, very slow. So I just go to Deepen This, remove unused footage. Okay, and here he just removed the Santa Claus, but sometimes he removed 1, 2, or maybe 10,000 footage that I don't use. It always decreases the size of my project files, and this helps a lot because sometimes you have project files to do 1 or 2 or 3 gigabytes, and it's really hard where to share it on your hard drive when you have 100 projects that have 1 or 2 gigabytes or autosave, lots of autosave and everything. It takes a lot of space for nothing. So I have a lot of guys who ask me what computer I need to buy, what it's a configuration and everything. I don't have super powerful configuration or super powerful computer. I try to improve a lot the way I work, and with just a normal configuration I can do lots of stuff without having too long to wait, because I improve a lot the way I work. I do basic stuff, simple stuff, and I do some manip like removing all the memory and cleaning up my projects that helps me a lot to be much more faster. So that was the tip of the day. Now continue and make this look much more better. So particle emitter 01. Now this is the effect for the first loop of the line 04 series. Pretty basic, but works so great on every kind of situation, in every kind of situation. And if you want to do the second one, you just turn them and you push some air into it so they are moving in the other side. What we are going to do is add a new layer, composition adjustment layer. This one, I like to have them in orange. And we're gonna name it Kaskade. And as too many times, we're gonna add to generate, or no, simulation, I think it is. Stylize maybe? It's here, stylize CC Kaskade. And we have our Kaskade effect. So push the size to 100. And turn it to 90. And so you have this square effect, who looks pretty great. Now, what I want to do is, instead of just having lots of lines, I want to add some points and lots of different elements that aren't gonna kill the dynamic, but make it look much more complex. And how more complex it is, how more energy the visual have. You will see it. It's really nice like that, but it looks maybe too basic. I mean, we're gonna add lots of different small elements everywhere, and that really bring how much more elements it have, how much dynamic it have, but how much color and wide area and everything it has, how much lightness it have when you play it live. Yeah, you will see. So what we are going to do, we're going to duplicate first time, the sprite line 01 with Ctrl D. And on this one, select it. We are going to have a look into advanced here in our 3D stroke. And if we push or adjust step up, our line is going to be transformed in small circles. Yeah, like this. And now I have some circles animated. Yeah, we're gonna just use it like that, or maybe add some taper. So here you have this taper effect, and it's gonna fade in the size of our circles. So enable the taper, and yeah, you see it just fade out the in and the out of our small circles. Go back to particle emitter 01, duplicate maybe the first ones. So we have it in big. Change the color. We're gonna make it maybe brown, so it's easier to see what is what. Name it 02 and 02. Import sprite line 02. Hide it, and now we're just gonna change the texture. Here, instead of sprite line 01, sprite line 02. Change a bit the random seed. Yeah, and now you see, start to look much more complex just with some points. Now, another cool stuff we can do is create a brand new sprite, make it 500 on 500 and 2-second lengths. Add a new solid, make it com size, name it sprite lines 03, create or maybe trace a new line on it, add 3D stroke, always the same stuff. And here you have repeater. This will repeat our stroke. So disable the symmetric doubler, add maybe 4 intents or 5, so it don't look too symmetric. And with the scale, you can normally move them a little bit. Change the Z displays to 0. And with, I think, playing with factor. No. Or Y displays. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Size to 100 and push them just down with the Y displays. Not too much. Maybe like that. That's look great. And then we're going to add some taper just to make it a little bit more smoother. And we push the ends, no, the start thickness to end thickness to 100. So it comes in big and it goes out small. Change maybe the taper start to 100 and change the start shape to make it really small. Maybe we can change just the scale a little bit here. So it looks like a little bit more like a gradient. And maybe you can play a little bit with opacity too. Bring the opacity a little bit down with, gradient. Exactly like that. Now we just need to animate our offset from -100 to 100. And so it's moving. Another funny trick when you do that, you can add a mirror on it. We're not going to use it this time, but I did it for one of the loop. Just add a mirror in the middle. And if you push your line like that. You have this effect here and it's just moving. This can be pretty nice, but we don't want this actually. And remove the mirror. So go back to particle emitter 01, import, we haven't removed, sprite line 03, hide it. And yeah, we're gonna take this one here, change the color so we can see it easily. No, maybe to blue. 0303, and same thing, change a little bit random seed and change the texture. So here we have to push the size down. Really depend on what's the size of your main sprite. So here, size, push it down so it looks nice. Maybe 200. Let's try with 200. Always too big. 100. We actually don't see it. Yeah, 100 is good. Maybe 75. And here too, 75. Yeah, this is great, but I want maybe a little bit more. So take them with U, then K to go to the right, and maybe push 12, and on the other one 12 too. And maybe we are just the normal lines, push them down a little bit as they are too much, 6 and 6. So start looks very interesting. So as you saw, guys, with just one single really basic animation and just change a little bit and play with the size and different sprites, you can have something who look much more complex. And how more complex it is, how more dynamic it is, but it's not too much. I mean, it doesn't lose his dynamic and his energy. So other thing you can do is just change the collider. If you push it to 0, it looks very great too, like that. You can also push the size down, create something more like a grid. Try to have it perfectly into it. You can do lots of awesome stuff. If you remember, last time I showed you how to play with motion tiles, so you can make them move like it's an infinite grid. And yeah, you know, all the other effects you can apply to this. So was a little bit faster than usually, but yeah, this is a really nice effect and really interesting to play with lots of different sprites and on it, just to make it look a little bit more complex. So guys, this was my new tutorial. Hope you liked it. Hope it helps you a lot in your creative way on all your performance, and I learned your new techniques. If you have any question, you can send me an email, you can write me a comment, just send me a tweet or anything. You know how to do it, and don't hesitate to send me your stuff if you create something, if you have some questions or anything other. Just don't hesitate it and contact me. I've also just launched a brand new website called visions.fr, with a little bit my visual label. You can find all my free visual series on it. It was a little bit hard to find them all before. Now you have them all in 720p and in Full HD photo JPEG, so you can download them all in one time. We have a brand new download system who works much more better than all that we had before. You can also find all my tutorials, all the past tutorials that I did. Maybe you missed one. You have them all here. All the visual tutorial, VG stuff who speak about more lighting. And yeah, this is just the beginning for Visions. I will have much more visuals who come into it, and all the time much more tutorials about how to create your visuals, how to use them live on stage, and how to improve all your live and performance. So this is one of my big projects for 2015, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to all your ideas and all your comments on this, what you like, what you doesn't like, how you have interest in for, and what you don't have interest for. Just tell me if I do something like, maybe you don't like this tutorial, just tell me. Send me a message and tell me this tutorial is shit. Shut up. You can say it, guys. Not a problem for me. I'm just doing this for you. So yeah, just let me know if you like it or not, or let me know what we can do better or what you really want to know. So guys, my name is Zyper. I did this for Visions.fr, and yeah, I hope you like it. We'll see you in maybe next month for a brand new tutorial who speak more about vjing, controller, MIDI, and everything. Thanks guys for watching. My name is Zyper. You can follow me on Facebook. See you next time.